And then when they got there and realized that I don't play, I don't do publicity and marketing, he pulled her out of the room and said he didn't want these questions, and I left. They had to talk me back.
For years, Oprah has faced a lot of allegations about how she treats her guests on her show, and now it seems that Iyanla Vanzant has shared some shocking revelations that could spell trouble for Oprah. Allegedly, Iyanla's candid remarks might have jeopardized their relationship for good. After a long history of tension, she hinted at some shady connections Oprah might have, particularly her rumored ties to Diddy and his controversies. Could this be the reason Oprah reportedly tried to cut ties with her? Now, Iyanla Vanzant is finally revealing the real reason she left Oprah's TV show. They say fame is a double-edged sword, especially for someone as successful as Oprah Winfrey. While she's often celebrated for her achievements, the reality of her journey includes both triumphs and some dark moments. For years, we've seen the positive side of this iconic African-American woman at the top of the television world. However, it's becoming increasingly clear that many of those stories may have been exaggerated. There are former collaborators who have labeled her a monster, and various media scandals have supported that claim. Now, we're hearing from someone who worked closely with Oprah for many years, but was unfairly cast as the villain in their story. Decades later, it turns out she was actually sidelined by this powerful host. Oprah's journey has been closely followed by many since her early days in broadcasting, and even those who weren't there for it have likely read about her rise. If you fall into either category, you probably know who Iyanla Vanzant is. If not, you may have come across her name in recent headlines. Iyanla is an inseparable part of Oprah's origin story. In the early days before Oprah's show transformed into the phenomenon it is today, networks were vying for Iyanla's presence, standing by Oprah's side as she began to make her mark. You'd think that someone like Iyanla, who played such a crucial role in Oprah's story, would receive some special consideration during tough times. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Just like the countless stories suggesting that Oprah is only a supporter of fellow black women in theory, Iyanla's experience proves otherwise. Despite being a best-selling author, Iyanla found herself having to rebuild her life from the ground up after Oprah, who was already a powerhouse in the industry, seemed to perceive her as a threat to her own spotlight. Over the years, it has become clear that Oprah doesn't take kindly to being challenged, and Iyanla became a prime example of what can happen when you do. The impact of Iyanla's fallout with Oprah went beyond just losing her spot on one of the biggest shows. It significantly affected her finances, despite her experience and growing reputation. She struggled to secure a position on any show and faced setbacks with her own projects. It's also important to note that this all unfolded during a challenging period when she was grieving the loss of several loved ones. While there's no concrete evidence linking Oprah to Iyanla's struggles, it's hard to ignore that Oprah's name has been central to Iyanla's narrative since it all began. One undeniable fact about Oprah Winfrey is that her show has served as a springboard for numerous successful figures in the entertainment industry, including Nate Burleson, Dr. Phil, and Dr. Oz. What connects them all is how they became global sensations thanks to the exposure they received on Oprah's platform. The so-called Oprah effect has consistently demonstrated its incredible power. Endorsements, frequent appearances, or even a regular segment on her show can be the golden ticket to a thriving career. However, while some have soared to success, others have faced significant setbacks. Iyanla Vanzant is one of those individuals. Her life story reads like a mini-series filled with challenges. Born Rhonda Harris in the back of a taxi in Brooklyn, Iyanla faced tragedy early on when her mother died of cancer when she was just 2 years old. Her father, who was absent for much of her life, worked as a numbers runner, and her grandmother's severe abuse left lasting scars, both physical and emotional. And the hardships didn't stop there. Iyanla became a teenage mother, giving birth to 3 children, each with a different father. She did marry one of them, but that relationship turned abusive. pushing her to the brink of taking her own life. Tragically, all of this occurred before she even turned 25. Iyanla Vanzant found herself on welfare, with just $5 to her name and her children on her mind, when she encountered something that would change her life. I was sitting on the bus, and I saw a sign that said, "If you're ready to better your life, come to Medgar Evers College." So I got off the bus and went to Medgar Evers College, she recalled. This decision marked her entry into the world of show business. As the executive producer and host of the critically acclaimed and award-winning series Iyanla, Fix My Life, Iyanla turned her show into the #1 reality program on the OWN network. In this series, she delves into people's personal struggles, applying spiritual principles to help them find inner peace and healing through hard work. Oprah Winfrey has referred to Iyanla as the most powerful spiritual healer, teacher, and fixer on the planet. However, this didn't mean they were always aligned. Not long ago, the two had a disagreement that lasted over a decade. Yes, you heard that right. More than 10 years. How could you not realize the impact of your words? I had experience with lectures, workshops, classes, and public speaking, but I knew nothing about television. One of the most significant chapters in Iyanla Vanzant's life was her falling out with Oprah Winfrey. By 2000, Iyanla was a rising motivational speaker, frequently appearing on Oprah's show. However, in 1999, she received an offer from a television executive at another network and decided to take it. This decision led to a long silence between Winfrey and Iyanla that lasted 11 years, but there's more to the story. Before Iyanla accepted the new opportunity, she had a conversation with her team at Winfrey's organization. When they turned her down, chaos followed. As Iyanla recounted, "We had a conversation where they asked if I wanted my own show right away or if I was willing to wait. I said I was willing to wait. But after being approached by several producers, not just Barwal, I started to think maybe there was more happening that I needed to consider. So, I went back to Harpo and asked, 'Are you willing to do my show now?' I realize now that it was naive of me to ask, and it didn't go over well, which led to a breakdown in communication. Years later, the two hosts finally had a conversation and realized that much of their rift stemmed from miscommunication. Reflecting on the situation, Iyanla explained, 'I know I said I would wait, but let me explain why. That's where I went wrong. I ended up giving a long explanation about how everyone had approached me and that I felt ready now and so on. Unfortunately, they interpreted that as me trying to leverage a deal, which insulted them and led to an invitation for me not to return.' After more than a decade of silence, Iyanla received a call from Winfrey inviting her back on the show to address their differences. This was frustrating because everything had happened behind closed doors. It seemed only fair to resolve it privately, but the more famous of the two had different plans. Winfrey brought Iyanla onto her show and manipulated the conversation, forcing Iyanla to repeatedly admit her mistakes. Iyanla opened up during her appearance on the show, reflecting on the valuable lessons she learned from her time working with another network. "It shook me to my core," she admitted. "I was also hurt and guilty about the way I left here. I felt hurt because I didn't fully understand the implications of my actions, and guilty because I've always believed that I do the wrong thing." This lingering insecurity caused Iyanla to make assumptions that, unfortunately, only intensified the situation. "When you said, 'Bless you, go forward,' that's not what I heard," Iyanla explained to Winfrey. "What I heard was, 'You did the wrong thing, and now you're being punished.'" It felt like I wasn't welcome to come into that meeting to discuss a show for myself. Yes, I was interested in that, but not with the implication of "do it now" or "I'm entitled to it." Iyanla didn't just struggle with this one instance. She admitted that she had similar experiences on other major platforms as well. "I violated some industry protocols because I just didn't know any better," she shared during an interview with The Breakfast Club. "I grew up in the hood, and I didn't have a manager or an agent. I was approaching people as if they were at my local key food store. Not understanding that about myself and the expectations in this industry led others to assume I was leveraging my position, which I wasn't. I didn't even know what that meant. I was just asking for what I wanted. I was naive and just trying to be direct, but it wasn't well received, and that created a breakdown in communication. Despite the challenges, Iyanla noted that they eventually repaired their relationship, though it took a long 11 years. They didn't think I was ready, but that was never communicated to me. So I was confused. If they were asking for me, why couldn't we do it here? However, there's an underlying question about whether Iyanla felt pressured to shape the narrative in a way that portrayed Winfrey positively. In a previous interview on the Tell Me More show with host Michelle Martin, she offered a different perspective, saying, "I think that as an up-and-coming talent, a protege, a certain level of loyalty is expected of you. I didn't demonstrate that level of loyalty, and I believe that would hold true for anyone in my position. Had I stayed, it would have been the same for Barbara Walters. Just look at the significant rift that occurred when Star Jones left The View." This raises a crucial question. Did Oprah Winfrey's decision to distance herself from Iyanla Vanzant stem from a belief that Iyanla owed her loyalty, even if it meant sacrificing her own career advancement? It seems Winfrey might have felt entitled to that loyalty given their professional history. What truly underscored this dynamic during the interview was Iyanla's revelation that she never actually had a direct conversation with Winfrey throughout their falling out. "Let me clarify this," she explained. "What you heard in the clip when I said I didn't know it was about me. That's because I never had a conversation with Oprah. People assumed we were best friends who went to lunch regularly, but that couldn't be further from the truth. All the communication that took place was through her lawyer or her executive producer, not directly between me and Oprah." This stark difference in narrative caught the attention of several fans who began to voice their opinions online. One user remarked, "And whose fault is that? Oprah is a buck-dancing coon who made her choices. Look at everyone she's helped. Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, Rachel Ray, Suze Orman, Nate Berkus. What do they all have in common? Iyanla is the only black person she put on. Barely." That user makes a valid point. Considering that out of the numerous individuals Winfrey has supported in their careers, Iyanla appears to be the only one who struggled to transition successfully after leaving the show. Many fans speculate that Iyanla's difficulties stem from her identity as a strong black woman, which some believe posed a threat to Winfrey. There seems to be some truth to this perspective, especially in light of recent allegations that Winfrey has undermined other black actresses. For instance, Monique, who has publicly shared her struggles with Winfrey, recently expressed solidarity with Taraji P. Henson, who has spoken out about facing pay inequality as a black woman in Hollywood. These patterns suggest a troubling trend in Winfrey's relationships with black female talent. Recently, actress and comedian Monique opened up about the ongoing struggles faced by black actresses in the industry during an appearance on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay. Reflecting on her conversations with Taraji P. Henson from about a decade ago, Monique expressed her frustration. "After more than 20 years in this business, I still hear the same complaints. I watch what happens in other productions, and I see how time is managed for us. They treat us like we don't matter." Her comments came in response to Henson's emotional interview on SiriusXM, where Taraji discussed the pain of feeling undervalued as a black actress. Monique empathized deeply, stating, "Seeing Taraji broken on those platforms was truly painful for me." Henson has been vocal about her frustrations with the industry, highlighting the constant battle for fair compensation. "I've been paid well, but I've had to fight tooth and nail for every project to receive the same quote. It feels like a slap in the face when people say, 'Oh, girl, you work all the time. You're always working.' Well, damn it, I have to," she asserted passionately. At a recent SAG-AFTRA Foundation career retrospective, Henson revealed how the ongoing salary disputes almost prevented her from taking on the lead role in The Color Purple. Every time you accomplish something remarkable, it seems like the industry treats it as a fluke, like, oh, that was just a one-time thing. So here I am, negotiating fiercely for the same pay I received before. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a pay increase since Proud Mary. I'm really exhausted by the fact that black women keep sharing the same story, she explained. By bringing up these issues in the context of The Color Purple, many viewers speculated that Henson was directly critiquing the film's producers, particularly Oprah Winfrey. When considering the experiences of both Henson and Monique, along with other notable black actresses who have similarly struggled for recognition and fair pay, it becomes clear that there's a troubling pattern at play. Oprah Winfrey's influential platform has often sparked both admiration and scrutiny, particularly regarding her views on sensitive topics. In a candid discussion, she delved into the complexities surrounding children's experiences with inappropriate relationships. Oprah stated that for a child, the feelings associated with being touched can be confusing. She remarked, "Even if you don't have a name for what that is, it can feel good." This perspective raises important questions about consent and understanding in a child's world, particularly when the touch comes from someone they admire or trust. Oprah reflected on her own journey, admitting that grappling with these feelings was a significant challenge during her therapy sessions. "What does it mean that it felt good? That was one of the biggest things I kept bringing to therapy," she shared. She emphasized that a skilled abuser could manipulate a child's perceptions to the extent that they might not even realize they are being harmed, noting, "If the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it, and you won't even know it's happened." In addition to her candid discussions, Oprah's philanthropic efforts, such as establishing a girls' school in Africa, have also come under scrutiny. While her intentions to empower girls through education are noble, the Academy has faced its share of controversies since its opening. Oprah has passionately expressed her commitment to addressing the challenges of girls' education in South Africa, stating her intention to go village to village to uplift girls who have traditionally been denied educational opportunities due to societal norms. "I want to give them the chance to come to my school and become the leaders of Africa," she declared. However, despite her lofty goals, the school has been marred by unsettling incidents, raising questions about its management and the safety of its students. Reports of troubling occurrences, including the discovery of a child's body in a student's bag and disciplinary actions against girls for misconduct, have cast a shadow over the institution. In 2007, Oprah Winfrey inaugurated a boarding school in South Africa, envisioning it as a beacon of hope and opportunity for young girls in need. The Academy boasted impressive amenities, including salons, gyms, and state-of-the-art facilities, all part of a lavish $50 million investment that made it one of the most expensive educational institutions on the continent. With high-tech computers and modern equipment, Oprah aimed to create an environment where these girls could thrive academically and personally. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly noble endeavor, troubling allegations began to surface. Reports emerged suggesting that the school was a facade for more sinister activities, with claims that the young girls enrolled were being groomed for exploitation. Whispers indicated that one of the employees had been preparing the girls for potential clients, leading to serious concerns about human trafficking. Authorities stepped in as investigations unfolded, leading to the arrest of the implicated employee on multiple counts of misconduct. Disturbingly, it was revealed that at least 6 girls were allegedly targeted in a systematic and ritualistic manner, raising alarms about the environment within the school. While Oprah publicly stated her intention to look into the situation, the aftermath of her investigation resulted in the employee being cleared of any wrongdoing. This outcome prompted speculation that there might have been an effort to cover up the allegations, further complicating the narrative surrounding the school and its operations. Comedian Trevor Noah, known for his sharp wit, has humorously dissected the realities of Oprah's Academy. blending humor with a serious critique of the incidents that have marred its reputation. In his comedic style, he highlights the disconnect between Oprah's grand vision for the school and the troubling realities faced by the students. He points out that while Oprah invested in luxurious amenities, the selection process for teachers appeared to lack rigor. She didn't know how to interview these people. This wasn't the bachelor she was talking to, he quipped. There's a lot of controversy swirling around Oprah, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this 3-part series in the comments. Oprah wields a tremendous amount of power, which makes it hard for anyone to challenge her without facing repercussions. This leaves many questions unresolved, especially concerning the disturbing situation at her all-girls school in Africa. What happened to the girls from that graduating class who went missing? It seems like no one is talking about it. And you know why? Because there's a level of protection around people like her that I find really troubling. I want everyone to chime in, share what you know, and help spread the word. Those girls from Oprah's school are missing, and I want to know where they are. Oprah Winfrey. Has anyone found them? Why is there so little coverage on this issue? Meanwhile, we hear plenty about the 5 men who went missing recently. Of course, they deserve coverage, and I feel for their families. But it's disheartening that the stories of those girls aren't getting the same attention. On another note, let's talk about how Oprah treats her guests on her show. There have been numerous instances where she seems to favor inviting controversial figures just to boost her ratings. This sensationalism has drawn criticism for overshadowing the integrity of her program and turning her guests into entertainment rather than fostering genuine conversations. Take, for example, the awkward moment back in 1986 when Cindy Crawford first appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show. She was just 19 at the time, and Oprah asked her to stand up so the audience could see her body. Cindy looked visibly uncomfortable, but she went along with it. That moment felt more like a spectacle than a supportive platform for a young model. It's incidents like these that raise questions about the real intent behind her show. In a later interview, Cindy Crawford opened up about her experience on The Oprah Winfrey Show, describing that moment as deeply upsetting. She felt like she was being treated like chattel, saying, "I was like the chattel for a child, like be seen and not heard." When I look back on it now, I can't believe Oprah told me to stand up and show me your body as if I needed to prove my worth. At the time, I didn't recognize how wrong that was. It wasn't until later that I thought, oh my gosh, that was so not okay. It felt exploitative and misogynistic, and many viewers felt the same way. Another awkward moment occurred when NFL quarterback Drew Brees appeared on the show. During the live broadcast, Oprah leaned over to wipe something off his face, thinking it was lipstick, but it turned out to be a birthmark. Oprah was known for asking her guests personal questions, often diving into sensitive topics about their orientation and other private matters. This style sometimes made her guests uncomfortable, leading to criticism that she prioritized sensationalism over respectful, meaningful conversations. Thanks to the internet and courageous voices like Iyanla Vanzant, more people are becoming aware of Oprah and other elites and their controversial actions. This heightened awareness is prompting broader public scrutiny and a demand for accountability. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more next time. Bye for now.